Hello, everyone, and welcome to College and Beyond podcast, Real Talk with Amore. And if you haven't guessed already, my name is Amore, and I'm your host. And today's episode 6. We are going to be exploring from Atlanta to Hollywood, Kevin Washington Jr.'s journey from Morehouse to USC Film School. This episode is sponsored by Education Innovations. I'm the founder, and our mission is to guide your journey from college admissions to life and beyond. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring on our special guest. Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. What school are you representing today?
We're at USC School of Cinematic Arts.
All right. So, you know what? We're going to talk about your journey from Atlanta to Hollywood. So why don't we start off by you telling us about what it was like growing up in Atlanta and what your high school experience was like?
Well, yeah, growing up in Atlanta was really fun. The I'd say it's the real Black Mecca. There's a lot of Black excellence in every industry out here, especially the entertainment industry. I went to Atlanta International School, so I was exposed to lots of different backgrounds and people that come from different creeds or religions. That helped me just navigate the world that I'm in now, especially while I'm at a PWI like USC.
Okay. So at the international school, I could have sworn that did you do a international study abroad or something like that or a fluent in another language?
Well, yeah. So basically, the way that my high school set up is K through 12. I've been there. I was there for second grade through 12th grade, so I was there for a long time. Fifth grade, we got to go to Costa Rica. I was a Spanish speaker. We have three tracks, either Spanish, French, or German. I took Spanish, so the Spanish students in fifth grade went to Costa Rica. So that's my first study abroad, quote unquote study abroad. And then later on, I took another language, which was Chinese, and I got to travel to China in the beginning of high school. So that was really cool. So yeah, they've definitely been around with my school for sure.
Okay. So Morehouse has such a rich legacy. What made you choose to attend Morehouse and how did it shape your path?
Well, Morehouse has definitely been a pillar in just my family's life. My father went there; he graduated in '99. My mother went to Spelman, the sister school, graduated in '99 as well. They met each other there, so it was already ingrained, sort of, that I was going to go to Morehouse, even though I may have not wanted to at first. But I'm happy I made that decision. It's definitely changed my life completely. I wouldn't be where I'm at without Morehouse. So, shout out to Morehouse.
You majored in cinema, television, and emerging digital media at Morehouse. When did you first realize you had a passion for film?
I think my passion for film began early on when I was a kid. Growing up with my cousins, for a long time, I didn't have any siblings. And then later on in life, siblings came about, and that's great. I love them to death. But growing up with my siblings and my cousins, we definitely watched a lot of movies, whether that be Transformers or, different, sci-fi movies, Avatar, what have you be. Um, just like brought us together in a different way that I liked a lot. And, I make up like different stories to make them laugh and stuff like that. I'm like, maybe I could be good at this, later on in life when I look back on like what I wanted to do with my life, because I definitely didn't want to do anything regular, I realized. Um, but I think it came on early on, just being creative and wanted to be wanted to make something that people love and admire as much as I admire some different titles that are out there.
Okay. Um, how did Morehouse help prepare you for the career in film and media?
Well, Morehouse helped me specifically because they were able to put opportunities in front of me. Um, I definitely wouldn't have gotten to Paris for the Olympics, working with the broadcast team out there in Paris without my Morehouse connections. Especially specifically, my frat brother sent me that link to sign up and said, just give it a shot. I'm like, okay, cool, But I wouldn't have met him if I hadn't gone to Morehouse, and I don't think I'd be at USC either without the help of my professors at Morehouse, specifically Professor Avery O. Williams. He means a lot to me, and I definitely wanted to make him proud because I had a little bit of a rough start to the film program at Morehouse, the CTEMS program. But I found my way. And shout out to him and everybody there at CTEMS. They really helped change my life for the better.
Okay. So speaking of your professor, were there any mentors, professors, campus experience that influenced your story telling style?
Storytelling style, I think I just learned how to tell stories better from all my professors at Morehouse. But specifically, Professor Williams, I think I was able to have a lot of meaningful conversations with him when it came to different things and, learn from my mistakes and such. I just wanted to make everybody there proud, and make stories that mattered. Obviously, there are going to be mistakes along the way. Like I definitely didn't have the best story out of all the screenings for our capstone films, but I thought I did good. I did a good job for my first real production, back at Morehouse. So I think
Can you
just
tell us? I'm sorry.
yeah.
Can you tell us more about you said capstone? What is that, and what did you do for your capstone? Because you said it wasn't better than anyone else. Maybe it was a little bit different. Can you tell us more? What is a
Oh yeah.
capstone? What did
So
you
the senior
produce,
chat.
and all that stuff?
Yeah, yeah. So the senior capstone is it's basically like the capstone project of a CTEM student, which is Cinema, Television, Emerging Media Studies. That's my major at Morehouse. And we basically, work throughout our years at Morehouse. And then at the end, we produce, direct, and write our own projects. Each student does. So, I think the budget didn't matter. Uh, as long as you're able to get something made, that's really what it is. And just, bring it to screen. It was like an
Mhm.
8-minute project. We could go over, but I guess that would cost points. But like, if you really cared, you can go over. But it was 8 minutes in a short film format, just to create a story for people to see and, show what we've learned at Morehouse. So yeah, I think I did a good job. I got some audience reactions. Um, but I like
What was
to
the story
keep
about?
myself
Tell us the story. You're just telling us like just general. I mean, it's capstone. We want to know what was the story.
it's basically about
What went into the
it was about a
production.
student. Yeah, it was about a student that takes care of his sister. But the teacher doesn't really understand that because she doesn't know that information. So she always is on him about being late to class. So I just, wanted to show like a really meaningful story, like of a relationship between an older brother and a little sister that I thought read well on screen.
Well, I loved it, and I hope that later on, you can share with the audience if there's a place for them to see it because I really enjoyed that film. Um, one of the things that you did at Morehouse, and you talked about not only the Morehouse Brotherhood, but you joined, Omega Psi Phi. Um, how has being part of that brotherhood as well as Morehouse Brotherhood helped shape you personally and professionally? Like, why did you even join
Uh,
the fraternity? Mhm.
oh, why did I join Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated? I think I sought after something more at Morehouse. I honestly I was open to learning about every fraternity. Mine wasn't specifically like right then and there, but once I did my research and I really truly like talked to members, of their respective fraternities, I found that I aligned myself most with mine, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and Side Chapter has changed my life completely. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't have been in Paris without a frat brother of mine. Um, I'm out here in LA, and if I need to call on somebody, it's probably going to be a chapter brother. Um, they really, I always say to people who are going to HBCUs to consider joining a Greek letter organization. I know it can be hard to understand how to do it, but these people are there to ask questions. You're supposed to ask questions and ask, what do I need to do? There's a bunch of different organizations on campus that do different things around the world. And if you want to be a part of something bigger than yourself, I think you should consider it, especially the network opportunities that you can get through people who care about you just because of the letters you wear across your chest. So I think I think it's crucial to having a good college experience to being a member of an organization because it goes beyond college. It goes a little way deeper until death, honestly. So it's
Can you give
something
us
real
some
meaningful.
examples? Can you give us some examples? You said it goes beyond death, way, after college. Most people think you just join a fraternity and then that's it. And when you go off to, the real world or graduate school, you no longer deal with that. So you're saying for your Black fraternity in particular, that it carries on throughout your life. How so? Can you give us examples? Even though you're young, how have you seen that?
If you need somebody to call on, if you need help with, say you're moving to a new city, you need help moving in, you can hit up somebody that you maybe have not talked to much, but they know that you're a member of the organization. They'll help you out. When I first moved out here, our grand bossilist, Ricky Lewis, shout out to him. Uh, he called me ran on a random Tuesday, asking me,
Hmm.
if I'm all right, settled out here, and if I needed anything. So how he knew that I was in LA, I have no idea, but it was cool that he called me. It's just like the outreach, the brotherhood. I talk to my frat brothers every day, so those are my some of my best friends in this life. So it's just little things like that. If you need somebody to help or you need somebody to talk to, obviously you have your own friends, but you also got your fraternity brothers, and it just means that much more. So yeah.
I love that. So, transitioning to film school, let's talk about USC's. USC is very hard to get into for graduate school, the cinematic arts. It's one of the most competitive film programs in the country. What was the application process like, and how did you stand out?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I know how I stood out. I mean, there's a bunch of applicants. They only accept 60 a semester, 120 a year. So
What?
I just honestly was myself. There's a lot of writing involved. So obviously, Coach Carthy helped out with a lot of the nitpicky things here and there, helping it all be just much easier for me, especially as I navigated through ending college and graduating with honors and whatnot. So it was definitely about, it's not writing the right thing, it's not saying the right thing, it's just saying what's true to you and showing your work. And somebody could be interested in what you have to say, and this one person was interested in what I had to say. Professor here at USC who actually retired the year I got in, so I never got to
Wow.
meet him in person, but his name is Michael Taylor, and he retired. I found out that today actually, because I never met him. Um, and I was supposed to have, I guess, a formal interview, but I got a phone call and I spoke with him for maybe 15, 20 minutes. Just he's asked me about myself and stuff. He said, you know, gave me hope about the whole application thing. And I mean, I had already submitted it by then, but I mean, I didn't know I was gonna get in at that time either. I mean, by all means, but when I finally got in, it was so good because it was like, maybe I am good at this. But to people who are trying to apply to film school, I mean, go to the school that accepts what you are. So if you write about who you are, then that's where you're supposed to be. I wouldn't lie on the application by all means about who you were,
I,
because at the end of the day, it's too hard to do that.
I like that how you said that you're don't lie, be yourself, basically. And I think that you're being very humble. You're not also telling the folks about how much work those applications were when you actually had to get them in. And not only were they weren't just writing, you also had other components. Do you remember those things? Or do I have to
Yeah,
remind you?
some short form, video entries of yourself talking to a camera, or just other small versions of media that you've made in the past, just stuff that you have to submit and make for the application specifically. I think that's for them to see how creative you can really be with the same prompt that everybody else is given. So if you're a creative person, it shouldn't be too hard, and they want people in their school. So yeah, if film is your thing, somebody out there, I mean, it's a school. There's a plenty schools. There's plenty of schools, not just USC. There's Loyola Marymount. There's Chapman. There's UCLA. There's NYU. I mean, there's so many really good programs out there that are looking for somebody that wants to tell genuine stories. So that's
Okay.
key.
Yeah. And since he may be forgetting, the applications were due in October. Wasn't it October or November? Like they were so early. I felt like in
Yeah,
comparison to
pretty
other
early.
schools.
Like November. I remember it being November. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now, what was the biggest transition moving from Atlanta to LA for graduate school? What was the biggest transition for you?
I
What were
mean,
the
just being
challenge?
that I
What?
grew,
Mhm.
yeah, just being that I grew up in Atlanta, and then went to school, undergrad in Atlanta. I mean, obviously, it was just a big change, not just being away from family, but I'm lucky that I have family everywhere. So I was welcome to LA with open arms, just my family, and then meeting people in my program who I've befriended, and some people that I know out here that went to undergrad with me live out here as well. So that's been the easiest part, matriculating in. And then my days consist of me being in school for a long time, and then me having my self time. So there's never really like what's the word I'm looking for? There's never like any moments of limbo where I'm bored or like I feel lonely out here. If that's what you're looking for. But anybody's a phone call away. I'm not mad at that at all. So I think I'm just able to just adapt to the different situations, and being out here has been, it's been real nice.
Does it really not rain in Southern California like Tony used to sing in their song?
It was raining all last week, so I don't know about that. It could have been helpful when it was, when LA was on fire, but I hope the rain helped with something because there was a lot of rain last week. It was raining a lot last week.
Mm, mm. So you mentioned the fires and stuff, and that definitely is different from, you know, Atlanta. What are some just adjustments to how is like LA different for you living versus Atlanta? Because I know you said family is in both spaces. That's fine, but is it spread out? Do you have to drive everywhere, or do you stay in a place where you just walk to school? Like, what is it like?
Well, I live in downtown LA, so it's a bit. Um, I would relate it to if you're from Atlanta, like downtown Atlanta, um, like by GSU. It's kind of dirty, which I don't like too much, noisy. Um, but crime rates here are pretty interesting, just because it's in SoCal. So it's basically like living on Morehouse campus at 830 West U. I mean, it's not it's not nothing too different. Maybe just a little bit different dynamic of who's committing the crimes. But in all seriousness, it's cool. It's spread out. Everything is spread out, but that's nice because you get to when you let's say when I want to go to Glendale to go to a movie theater, it's like a really different area over there, and it's nice. You know, I drive to campus. To drive to campus takes like 10 minutes. Maybe less.
Mm,
So
mm.
I'm not mad at that at all. I mean, I probably will end up moving from downtown LA to a different area, like later on in my time here. But right now, I'm enjoying everything pretty nicely.
You said Glendale. That's to me that feels like the bird. I mean, have you gone to Koreatown, like the
Yep,
different like enclaves and stuff? Um,
yep,
you know,
yeah.
do
Koreatown's
you
great. Koreatown's great. I'm like right down the street from Koreatown, so it's some good food over there.
mm, have you found any good restaurants that you have on
Oh
rotation all the
yeah,
time that you go to?
oh yeah.
Tell us more
I
about
have a
that.
few. I have a few. I gatekeep though. I gatekeep. I can't tell my secrets, but it's good though. There's good food everywhere in LA. I done tried a lot of different places. Um,
Mm,
that's what's cool about moving to a new city. Really, it's just it's different food that you never would try back home. What you probably can access back home is just different quality. So no, Atlanta's not the greatest food scene, but out here it's pretty great. Just lots of good things out here. I do
so what kinds
miss
of foods?
I do miss
What
my
kind of
wings
foods do
though
they
back
have out
home.
there? Lemon pepper wet.
Uh,
You miss
yeah,
that?
man, I miss my food back home. But it's I mean it's a medley. I mean it's Asian cuisine. It's Caribbean, not much Caribbean actually. I can't lie, not much Caribbean, but a lot of Asian cuisine, a lot of Brazilian and French, and um, so I've tried it all. I mean, Italian food is great out here. Sushi is like very good out here.
Have you been to
Yeah, just to name a
Yamashiro's?
few. I've not been there.
You got to take that special somebody up there. But have you also gone to a taco truck yet? Have you tried
I haven't gone
Mexican
to a
food?
taco truck, but there's a spot out here that I do like. It's like a chain, I think. It's called Tacos 1986. It's pretty good.
Mm.
So I'll walk down there from the house sometimes.
Well, at least I got you to not gatekeep with that. Um,
Yeah,
Look,
it's right there.
you know, as a first year film student, what has been your most exciting and surprising part of USC so far?
I think just the opportunity to like collaborate with individuals who are as passionate about film as I am. That's
Mhm.
big because you want to work with people who care as much as you do. It can teach you something along the way. And the fact that we do these screenings for our 5 minute shorts in May. Um, the fact that somebody might see it and like it, that's enough for me. Just somebody might see mine and just be like, oh, stop me, or be like, you know what, man, I like that story. Like what you tried to do there, and it's not perfect, but I mean, it's still a student film, but um, just having somebody understand like what you tried to do and what you're trying to show, and people like it. That's what it's all about, really. It's all about the audience at that point.
Okay, so it is. So you're saying your film is about the audience or your stories? Like, what is your? How would I say? What are you trying to do when you make films? What do you want
I think I'm just trying
to,
to
or is
tell.
it?
I'm trying to tell a story that matters to me. And I think people would enjoy, and just like a different. It's a unique story that people hadn't seen yet. That's what I think is what I'm trying to portray on screen. It's just a story that people may have not seen before.
Mm-hmm,
Um, from my experience, like I take a lot from my own experience in life just to try to make it as genuine as I can.
mm-hmm,
Um, I'm still learning every day. I'm not perfect by all means, but I'm still learning, how to become as close to perfect as I can be in my own terms. So I'm enjoying the process, honestly, just learning how to do different things and learning different aspects of film that I wouldn't have known had I not gone to film school. So, and
So, what
just,
are some
my professors,
aspects?
I mean, aspects, you've got certain like key plot points and when to notice them, or you got I mean, you watch a movie, you can almost predict when you're in film school, you can almost predict what's going to happen next once you start to really analyze the film, or when the director is trying to leave different notes here and there, and then the payoff of leaving little crumbs at the beginning and the end. Um, it's kind of hard to go into full detail here, but uh, there's just different aspects of film that one may not think to look for
Mhm.
before going to film school, or just I mean, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there with just breaking down movies left and right, but when you really sit there and understand it, it's like it helps you with your own project because you want to be able to create that same effect on the audience to make them truly engaged with what you're doing.
Mhm. So would you say, like, if you made a film, that you've had a done a good job if it leaves your audience thinking about it or replaying in their mind? Or do you have, like, a certain standard of, like, what you say, or is it just one person saying, "Hey, I like it?"
I appreciate when I make something
Mhm,
and people get a reaction, like an outburst reaction, whether it's a laugh, a gasp, saying something to the screen, just anything, certain like reactions to it. Because when they react to it, it means they felt something, when they're watching it.
mm,
So that is kind of what I hope to give, because everything you make should have a reaction. that warrants everything you make should warrant a reaction. So, um, yeah,
Hmm,
exactly.
okay. How would you say USC's approach to film education compares to what you experienced at Morehouse, even though those are two different places and
I mean,
levels?
there's very two stark differences. I think if Morehouse was given the same materials and resources as USC, I would be learning the same quality of stuff that I'm learning at USC at Morehouse.
Hmm.
Morehouse was ranked 50th best film school in the
Hmm.
U.S. and USC is ranked first. So,
Hmm.
in the biggest difference I see is just the funding. Obviously, there's more money in this school because
Hmm.
being the school that it is very prestigious beyond the film school. Um, but then you also have individuals who have worked in the industry who are teaching you, and a lot of people who are teaching you worked in the industry or are still working in the industry as they're teaching. So
Oh,
I think that's really cool to work with people who are still working. Similar to Professor Williams back in Morehouse, literally saw him direct a Lifetime movie while I was there.
oh,
He did it
wow.
on campus, and then he uh, he definitely showed the students, you know, how easy it can be to create something, and from its conception to the creation. Like he showed us the whole process. So there's not much difference. It's just money. That's the biggest difference. It's all money. It's not the quality is still there. I relearned a lot of the things that I was taught at Morehouse. So Morehouse definitely set me up for success.
Okay. So, are there any projects that you're currently working on, or excited about in your first year?
So I just finished my first like full production, budgeted production this semester. It's 5 minute short film um, titled Lids. Uh, Logline being a young man new to Southern California faces the repercussions of wearing the wrong baseball hat. So that's the log line. It's 5 minutes. It's just basically like our introduction to like really producing and creating out here. So
Hmm.
I'm excited for it. There's a big screening for everybody's project um, in May. So I'm still in post production for mine, and we got to work with the sound soon. But other
Hmm.
than that, I think it's a good deal.
Okay. So let's talk about your future aspirations and advice you might give to people who are going into film. What types of stories are you most passionate about telling?
Uh, that's really a hard question for me to answer now. Um, because there's so many different stories you can tell. Like types of stories I'm passionate about telling is the ones that I'm passionate about, and that's the ones that come to me naturally. You know, whether it's a social commentary or it's a comedy or it's animation or it's whatever it is, it's something that I'm passionate about. So whatever I'm passionate about, and that's what I really want to bring out, and my passion changes, you know, wherever I'm at.
D-
So
Mm,
you know, it's not just
uh,
one set lane. It's like I can go on multiple lanes. That's the beauty of being a creative. You can do different things and see what works, see what doesn't, and who knows what goes from there.
okay. Um, the film industry is constantly evolving. Where do you see the biggest opportunities for emerging filmmakers today?
Biggest opportunity for emerging filmmakers.
Hmm.
I think the biggest opportunity, like I've been told many times, is just yourself. I mean, there's resources everywhere to pick up a camera, pick up a phone, and make something. You have a computer, you have iMovie built in already. You have a phone with a camera on it already. Or if you have the other nice things, then you can use those nice things. But I think the biggest opportunity is just creating for yourself and playing with it and having fun and make something that you care about because at the end of the day, you're not going to be successful because you made something that you didn't care about in film. So, and people won't notice who you are if you don't make something that's like literally you putting yourself on the screen. So, I think it's just best to just whenever you make something, just put your all in it and do it whenever you can, whenever you're free, whenever you have a group of friends that wants to make something, make it. There's no reason
Mhm.
not to. I've had to tell myself that for as long as I can remember. You want to make something, just make it. Like, who cares who likes it? Who cares who doesn't? Um, you're just making it for you at that point. Just have fun, and then whatever happens from there, it's beautiful.
Okay. So, what advice would you give to other students who want to break into the film industry or apply to top tier film schools, especially HBCU students?
Oh, for my HBCU folks, I mean, if your major isn't film, you can still apply to film school. I got people in film school who are math majors, like prior, who didn't have any experience in film whatsoever, and they're at the best film school in the world. So that tells you a lot about how your life can change. I mean, if you're passionate about film, go out there, make something, talk to somebody who's making stuff, um, learns, watch more movies, to learn how to craft a good story. Um, all these different things, will add to just you being a better storyteller at the end of the day. And you also find your passion wherever it is in film. There's a lot of jobs in film, whether that's sound or editing, directing, producing, writing. I mean, acting. Whatever it is that you want to do in movies or TV, or even just commercials. I mean, anything. You can have fun with it. So yeah, that's my advice.
Okay. As you continue your journey at USC, what are some of your goals for the next year?
Um, my goal, I think, just to keep learning, just to keep learning. That's all I can do. I'm here to learn, so I'm just gonna take in what I can and try to take the right classes and hear from the upperclassmen like what I should take to learn more about what I want to learn about, and go from there. Hopefully, I make something worthwhile.
Okay. Well, we're going to wrap up. And so, where can listeners follow your work and stay connected with you on your journey in film?
Well, I'll probably be posting more things on my Instagram, which is at KJ2, the number two, and then K underscore. Um, I have my personal film page connected to that page, so you can go down the rabbit hole there. But I'll be posting things there, and yeah, hopefully this year is a good one for me.
All right. So, thank you so much. Do you have any last words that you want to say to people before we sign off?
Shout out education innovation. Shout out Coach Carthy. I
Thank
wouldn't be
you.
here without you. So really do appreciate it, and thank you for having me on.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye.